You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Welcome to this Sunday edition of Good Morning Vail. Now we're so excited about the mountain opening as well as Colorado Gives Day and so many more exciting things right around the corner. So sit back, grab that cup of coffee. Good Morning Vail starts right now.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. Coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
Hey, it's your boy, Nephew Tommy, your host for an all-new season of Black College Quiz, where the nation's best and brightest display their knowledge of Black history and culture while competing for prizes and scholarships. So get ready to see HBCU Nation take the academic field. Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Yeah, man.
Welcome to Hiring America, the television program that helps veterans find jobs and transition back into civilian life. Hi everyone, I'm Gigi Stone Woods. I'm truly honored to host this vital program. Reach out to the opportunities you see on this program by logging on to our website, hiringamerica.net, and by following us on social networking sites such as Twitter. We'll keep that information available throughout the broadcast and on our website 24/7. Now, let's get down to business.
I'm Jason Kennedy, and this is The Wager. Let's go, Wes! We've all heard about this pickleball craze. Celebrities are playing pickleball matches all the time, and they're challenging each other to these ridiculous bets. Now I'm bringing the cameras to their house with new celebrities and a new bet every week.
Hell of a rally there.
It's just real, genuine conversation.
I got invited to Usher's birthday party. What am I doing here?
And some pretty crazy antics.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. Now, we're all very stoked about all the mountains opening and Vail very close to open. And Ross is teaching us how to switch out our bindings. Let's take a look.
We're in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
I think we're in your domain
Yeah.
when it comes to being in the kitchen today because we've got some snowboards in front of us and behind us.
Cooking up some binding swapping.
We are, and you know, it's a good time, especially because we haven't really had much powder. So I have been riding my powder board, but I'm ready to switch back to my twin toe.
Yeah.
So what do I do? Show me how to do this, Ross. You seem to be the expert.
Easy. So yeah, it's definitely nice to have a quiver of boards, right? So you can use a powder board and a grooming board, warm weather board. So it's good to have like a quiver. All we're gonna do is we pop these up. We're just gonna take the 4 screws off.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of keep an eye on what you got them on.
So with the
On what kind of degree you want. So.
Okay, so you can adjust those, correct?
Exactly.
Usually I just take it into a tuning shop.
Yeah. So obviously, like, everyone's body is different. I don't think people realize that, like, when you snowboard, like, everyone's body is different, right? Males and females' bodies are different.
Yep.
So what we're looking for with these bindings is this is just a way that we create some twist and turn in our board.
Okay, cool.
So so it's okay to do it whatever feels kind of comfortable to you. Some people like it a little wider. Obviously, you can get into some trouble here if you kind of make your stance too narrow or too wide, right? So it's okay to kind of individualize it. I get kind of talked to every day. Someone sees my bindings, they're pretty kind of duck-footed out. But that's just how I like it. I like to kind of have a quick response. So all I have to do is kind of lift a toe up or kind of dig a toe in, and I get the reaction that I want from the board.
And it helps you to be a little bit more versatile, right?
For sure.
Directionally.
For sure. And I like to ride a little bit of switch, so I kind of have mine set up to go both ways, but a lot of people set it up directional, so it's just more made for one way. So it's totally fine. It's kind of what you're interested in. There kind of is a right and a wrong way, but then within that, there's kind of some parameters that you can't really go wrong. So
what would you define as a right and a wrong way?
yeah, so like the right way is like we're looking for a balanced stance when we're snowboarding, right? Like a nice athletic stance. So if your bindings are set up a little too narrow or a little too open, and you can't find that nice athletic stance, then that's not what we're looking for.
So if you were, let's say you were renting, should you specify that you would like a wider stance, or is it more just kind of a factory settings?
No, I
grab
think,
the board and go.
Yeah, I think you can trust those ski shops out here. They're going to set you up for success. But what's nice too is like if a lot of people come out for a week or a weekend, and if the board feels a little off one day, you can always take it back into those shops and they can kind of readjust it for you, or ask your nice instructor up on the mountain to do it for you.
Or your co-host.
Or your co-host, right? Yeah. So it's pretty simple. It's similar to kind of the waxing. You can do this kind of at night. You can do it in the morning. I usually crack a nice beverage and take over my living room and kind of play with my board.
Or a nice cup of coffee.
Or a nice cup of coffee.
In the morning.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So yeah, so easy. Nothing too crazy.
That was easy to take off. And so the tricky part with bindings, and every binding brand and set is different, is they've got the foot pad that you've got to pull up.
Right.
And so we had to figure that out.
Right.
And then once you do that, you're home free.
Yeah, so what you kind of want to look for is, this looks like a twin, so it should be fine either way, but I'm going to bet that this is kind of the nose of your board here.
Okay.
Right? You
Yeah.
think so? This is the
Yeah,
nose
I
and
would
this
say
is the
so.
tail.
Yep.
So we just want to make sure we're putting the left foot on the nose of your board and the right foot on the tail, right?
That's exactly right.
Pretty straightforward. So we're just going to pick them up as they are. And you're a little bit shorter than me. So I would probably put mine.
5'9" without the cowboy boots.
Yeah, right, exactly. So they have, most snowboards use these kind of screw systems, so you could set it up anywhere in this kind of rail here.
Okay.
So if it's a little wide, you could bring it in.
So let's say if you didn't have a powder board and you were just riding one singular board, so on a powder day you could set them a little bit farther back.
Exactly. So especially a powder board, you kind of want your back foot as far back as it can go almost.
Okay.
So that way we're kind of leaning on that back foot or more pressure on the back foot.
It gives you a little less work to do.
A little less work to do, and that pressure on the back foot pops the nose of the board up. So in that powder, that's really important, right?
Awesome.
So we're keeping our nose of the board up and not getting stuck. Hopefully you have some skier friends that can help you out if you do need. But it's pretty straightforward.
Stick with the snowboard gang. Just kidding, I like skiers as well.
It's seriously just a joke. It's really more of a joke than anything.
I feel like the animosity between skiers and snowboarders is starting to dissipate.
Yeah, 100%.
Everybody's accepting, and if you love the snow sports period,
100%.
You're in the club together.
Now it's more like those snow bikes, right?
Yes,
We're looking at those guys a little funny, and the people on the snow skates, those kind of skateboards. We're looking at them a little funny. So.
I don't know about the snow skates. They kind of scare me a bit. Especially the little mini blades that look like roller blades. But
oh yeah, I
might try them one day.
Yeah.
How are they?
They're so much fun. Very terrifying. There's no surface area on those, so they're very difficult to stop.
If you're going down, you're going down.
You're going, yeah. So I mainly stick to the greens and a couple blues with those, but
That's great.
But yeah, this is a nice athletic stance for you, a little open and.
So you mentioned you ride duck-footed. Do you switch your bindings at all when you're riding in powder?
No, I should. I really should. But I like to set my board up. I'm an all-mountain rider. I like to ride in trees. So mine's kind of set up for everything.
Cool.
And again, I like to ride switch, so I could really turn my board either way, and it's going to perform the exact same way. So kind of depends what you're looking for. But yeah, some days I'm out there, and pretty much every powder day I'm out there, and I'm saying to myself, I'm going to set it back tonight. I'm going to set it back. I'm going to move it back.
And never do.
Get in the back foot a little bit, and then I just never end up doing it. So can't really go wrong. What's really cool, too, is a lot of the lifts out there on our mountains have these kind of screwdriver tools that you need. So if it's a small little tweak, you can always stop by a lift while you're out there.
Awesome.
And kind of tighten things up, or you could even change your whole setup if you needed to.
That's great.
A little more difficult with the conditions out there, but that looks pretty good. So that's a left foot binding.
Awesome.
We'll get the other one on for you.
Now, when I ride my twin tip, I actually like to do a little bit of a duck foot stance as well.
You do good,
I do.
yeah. So the trick is you never go over 30 degrees. So if your front foot's at, say, like 12 degrees, then you keep that back foot kind of within that 30-degree region, so like an 18. I wouldn't recommend an 18 and a 12. I do a 15 and a 15, which is a little much. But a lot of people really kind of like that 12-degree kind of angle, which you got here. So.
And if people don't quite understand, there's obviously the degree settings inside.
Yeah,
the
exactly. So inside the binding has the degree setting here. So you're at about that looks like a 9 or a 6, depending on which way I'm looking at it. So that's pretty good. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, everyone's foot's kind of different, so it's kind of what you're comfortable with.
And you can, if you're doing this at home, you can take it off and kind of play with it
Yeah,
and see what you like.
highly recommend kind of standing in it. Put it on the carpet floor and stand in it and feel it out, see what it feels like. But yeah,
It's
this is
always fun to watch people play with tools and make things work.
Yeah, so as a snowboard instructor up at Beaver Creek, I do this quite often with students, right? So they rent a board and something's a little off, so I'm always kind of touching bindings and getting them set up for success. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want.
It's true, and I have some friends that are learning how to snowboard, and they keep saying their feet are set up differently. So I tell them they just need to go adjust their bindings and try it. Try it and see what works for them. But really, I think it's just a matter of committing to the toasted
Definitely,
edge.
and keep an eye out, especially in the spring. There's a lot of demo days, so you can kind of go test out a snowboard and some new bindings. And then if you really like them, then you go ahead and pull the trigger and you buy them. So that's kind of a pro tip on kind of getting gears to demo it first, right?
That's exactly right.
Feel it out. I've always wanted to demo those Burton step-on bindings.
I have my eye on them, but I demoed these bindings at the end of last season.
Yeah.
So I'm committed to these for now.
And if you haven't gotten new bindings in a while, the technology is always progressing. So things are getting lighter, which is amazing. So it's it doesn't take as much force, right, to kind of make your board do what you want. It's a lot lighter and reacts a little bit quicker. So
Awesome.
binding technology, it's always changing. Like we mentioned, those step-ons are pretty impressive. So just like that, easy, pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
Nothing crazy. You can kind of click your foot back down. Then we had fun unlocking.
Awesome. Well, this looks like it's ready to go shred in this wintry
Yeah.
mix that we've got coming in this afternoon.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Ross, thanks for educating me on the best way to set up my bindings and how to do it. I appreciate that.
I love it. I love cooking snowboards in the kitchen with you.
I think that's our best recipe yet.
Yes, yes.
But we do have one more in the second hour, so stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
This is Necklace. This easy-to-use, non-surgical alternative improves the appearance of sagging skin around your neck and jawline. Made from medical-grade tape, Necklace lasts up to 10 hours, giving you a firmer, smoother look all day long.
This is the one that works.
Starting on one side, peel off to expose adhesive and affix it beneath your earlobe. Stretch the strip around the back of your neck until it reaches the other side. Remove the white backing from the other end of the strip and attach under the other earlobe. Go ahead and take your hair down.
Wow, look at that. Necklace really is the one that works.
Women everywhere are thrilled with the results.
Necklace is my time machine and I'm loving life again.
Necklace is way better than surgery. It's cheaper and it's easier.
Oh wow, to wipe these years off in here.
Well, I like it. It's like a mini facelift.
Oh, it totally works.
I think I need a box or two.
Use the on-screen QR code or visit sagnomore.com to order now. We even give you a money-back guarantee. Try Necklace today.
Coming at you from around the world. The biggest names in sports, entertainment, and business.
Here we go.
Yeah, there's no way.
Exclusive access and one-on-one conversations.
Yeah, you guys really did some deep research.
I don't think we should give him any more information.
In depth with Graham Bensinger.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
This show looks at anything that has an engine and a story told by the owners. This is a scooter. Have you had it the whole time?
I have not. It's actually the third time I've owned the car.
Sell, regret, sell, regret. To the actual prototype GT40. I got to sit in that car.
Oh, I gotta get me one of these, man.
We've got all the muscle, the speed, and the stories.
I got stage 4 cancer. A bunch of friends came together and decided if this thing needed to get done then. A lot of friends came together and made this thing happen.
Hey, if it has an engine and a story, you're going to hear about it on rides.
Almost every vehicle, doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, there's some tie to your past.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. Now, you know I love dogs, and all of our dogs could use a little dog training. We got to sit down and talk to Super Simple Dog Training. Let's take a look.
Welcome back to the show. Are you someone who loves your furry friends? Well, it's really important that you help them have the best life possible, and Super Simple Dog Training does just that. And I've got Luke and Charlie joining me in the studio. Good morning.
Hey guys, how are you?
I'm wonderful. There's nothing better than some puppy love to start your day off. So having Charlie here, giving everyone just that little bit of comfort that dogs always bring really helps first thing.
It's a wonderful thing. It's a great part of what I do for a living, and I'd love to tell you guys more today about, not only my background, but also what makes us a little different when it comes to dog training, behavior modification, things like that, it's an unregulated industry, so there's, folks on both sides of the spectrum. We like to tell folks that we're kind of in the middle. We teach a lot of stuff that is based on how children learn, And so a couple of the tidbits that I'd like to give you guys some information on today that can change your life with some really simple things that, man, we don't know what we don't know. And when you have an expert that can come in and show you some very scientific tidbits, it can change your whole perspective on things.
Well, and especially because dogs are all so different. Certain dog breeds have certain traits that are steadfast. Like, I have a Great Pyrenees. She barks if there's a slight breeze that rolls through from the ceiling fan, and that's her job, and I understand that. And I was reading on your website, you said when you get a dog, you have to give them a job or they create their own, and whether it's destroying your shoes or your couch, they've given themselves that job.
That's right. They are very, just curious creatures. They've got a lot of drive and energy, and that's one of the things that I teach people. It's very fun, especially because it's very logical for a lot of the parents that I work with. Dogs actually have a very similar mental capacity at an adult age that is similar to a 3 to 5-year-old human child. So a lot of the techniques that we use for teaching human children apply directly to dogs, and it's almost the same as well when it comes to schoolwork. And kids that are, the child finishes the assignment early, now they're cutting up in class and making jokes and causing trouble. The answer is not more discipline and stricter things. The answer is, this kid is too smart. They finished the assignment early. Let's give them more difficult classes, sports, music, student council, all that kind of stuff. That's what we do for dogs. It's a very simple thing that will actually be a time plus within your day, where if you give them a job in this really simple set of tools that we show you guys in our private training sessions, it can change your life because they have an outlet for this naturally curious canid behavior.
Which I think is so important that people acknowledge this as they're bringing a dog into their life, because we are in such a high activity community. We stay quite busy, but then people work a lot. And so if you're going to bring a dog into your home and you're working a ton, it's really important that you have that kind of work-life dog balance.
Well, like you said, Maddie, it's all about awareness. And as humans, we're in our own heads, and oftentimes we don't know what we don't know, as far as this idea that we're doing our best with kids and work and getting the pets what they need. And sometimes a short walk a couple times a day is not enough. We are doing our best. I get that. The fun part about what I teach is that through a series of set it and forget it, from back in the day, those who watch the infomercials of, if I can put a little bit of food in a series of puzzle toys, that can be a thing where we say, I'm busy, you need stimulation. I'm going to pour the food in, put the top on, set it and forget it. It's very similar to giving a child an iPad on a long car ride. Hey, engage yourself, burn energy, have a little bit of self-fulfilling challenges. Having a challenge that we overcome releases a lot of serotonin and dopamine within our systems. So that challenge and overcoming of the challenge can also be very satisfying within this idea that when they are working on this set it and forget it food puzzle toy, they're burning energy. As they burn energy solving problems, they fill their belly. And then what's next after that? It's always nap time. So that's a little up and down cycle, as we call it, where if we can do a little bit of exercise, food dispensing puzzle toy, it becomes 2 to 4 hour nap time shortly after. And that's just a benefit for everybody because we can do what we need to do and the dog has their needs met while also being happy and stimulated.
Which I think is so great. She is so calm.
Well, this is my little Buddha, yes.
And she's just so docile and happy to be here. She was so excited when she walked in. She was so well at greeting everyone, putting a smile on everyone's face, and then now she's just calm as could be.
Well, it's something that we kind of talked about as we were coming in. This is actually one of the benefits that you can get not only when you have a mixed breed, but rescues fit into this general category of dogs that have less intensity around the various breed mixes that they have. I grew up with specially trained hunting dogs and things of that nature, and I found that actually for a normal life where we're not doing these things competitively, the rescue mixes tend to be not only healthier, easier to train in a lot of respects because they're not as intense, and just this idea that when you mix the genes, they become relatively docile. And it's a pretty cool thing where, it's not a natural thing for a lot of dogs, but when you mix the genes, they tend to find the middle a lot easier. It's kind of curious.
I have a Chihuahua Jack Russell at home, and he's only 18 months old, and he is absolutely insane, like a wild child. but I give him puzzle feeders when I leave the house.
Wonderful.
So that way my cabinets aren't destroyed.
Well, and Jack Russells are so fascinating, and it just goes into this. We could go into the various breeds as we've talked about, but man, if we look at what they do, that's a big part of what I teach within my dog training is let's really not start with trying to fix the solution, fix the problem.
Right.
Let's look a couple steps back onto what are they as far as a canid? What are their natural instincts? They're all derived from wolves, etc., as well as what their breed is, right? These terriers and the Pyrenees and the hunting dogs have very different sets of behaviors that are pre-programmed into them.
Yes.
If we can look back at what they're bred for and understand the use cases that they were bred for many hundreds of generations to do, that's going to help us get at some of those underlying causes therapeutically as far as giving them an outlet for those natural behaviors.
Yes.
If we understand those background things, then in the moment, not only can we do some of the puzzle toys that we talked about within creating that up and down cycle of exercise, food dispensing, toy, nap time, but we can also cater those things directly to breed-specific outlets that will not only be a more positive outlet because it's more natural for them, but much easier to train as far as different techniques. There's something called barn hunt, if you've ever heard of this within terriers and Jack Russells, where literally they hide a varmint in a cage and it's a test to see which critter hunting dog can find them the fastest. So that's also part of understanding the breed and the background to where it's a really positive outlet. Both of the needs are met at the same time, right?
Yes.
You're having a bonding experience. The dog has its needs met, so they're not tearing everything up. And it just balances stuff for everybody. Just like we talk about with, if we want to balance our human mind, it's all about physical exercise, being out in nature, healthy diet, healthy mental habits. And we apply a lot of those things in dog training. And it's one of my favorite things that I share at the end of sessions where the moms will often tell me, man, that was really fun. Enjoyed the teaching. We'll see you next week. And by the way, did you know that a lot of the things that you teach for dogs apply directly to my kiddos and how I teach them? And I say, yes, of course, because a lot of the methods, of course, come from that. And it's a very similar habituation, learning mindset where we create good habits that inherently displace the unwanted ones. So.
Now, as someone who's spent a lot of time training dogs, when someone gets a rescue dog, do you think it's important that they do a DNA test to understand what breeds are actually in that dog? Because most of the time when you get a rescue dog, it's a guess.
Sure. I can definitely see that, especially within young puppies. If you're not sure about your lifestyle and your living situation to where the size and the breed could be an issue, I would definitely recommend it there. I will tell you, a little bit of grain of salt, that I have had some clients that worked for some of those companies and they said they're, not quite as accurate as we would all hope. So I would say definitely fun, but take it with a grain of salt. I can tell you that one of my clients was just beside themselves and needed to know what Charlie's DNA was. They did some research. They actually sent off the DNA request without a picture. So you might do some of those things where you research a bit, pay a little more. It's probably going to get you some more accurate results. And also, if you don't send in the picture, they kind of have a harder time guessing, hey, if it's a picture, that's pretty easy to do a couple clicks. Whereas they sent hers away totally blind and it came back half Labrador, half Australian cattle dog. So interesting mix, makes total sense because she likes to herd and she's obviously got the lab coat. But yeah, in the near term, that would be my recommendation is if it's a puppy and you're really curious about how it's going to fit into your lifestyle and how big it's going to be, definitely do the DNA test. But beyond that, it's really more of a entertainment thing, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so too, but I think that maybe it is good if you're, like you said, getting a puppy now. If people are interested in working with you and having you help their dog become the sweet little angel Buddha baby that's here on the ground with us, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
Sure. You can always reach me directly through my website. There's, of course, cell number and an informational if you would like to fill out a couple questions to start the process a little ahead of schedule as far as information that you give us. That's going to be a really fun way to start the engagement process as far as just having an initial conversation. Whatever way makes sense as far as getting in touch with each other. But really, I always start with a 15-minute phone consultation because sometimes people are just having an issue where they're snagged, and if I can give someone a bit of information over the phone that solves their problems and they don't need a session, hey, hey, great, totally fine with me because they're going to tell all their friends and all that. But really what it comes down to is a 15-minute phone consultation where I'm going to listen to all the things that are going on, age, breed, background, what are the needs, what's your lifestyle, and then from that, I can give you in the near term some quick answers on how to keep it from getting worse. And if it makes sense, and if you like the vibe that I'm giving you within some corny jokes and some sarcasm that blends well with some very direct science that applies to human children, and that is something where we're going to talk, and if you like some of the things that I'm teaching as far as this is what you're likely going through, does that make sense? Okay, great. Here's the steps that we would move forward as far as the nature and the nurture. We always work on the therapeutic underlying causes as well as the in the moment, how to not do the not so helpful behavior, but it all starts with a phone chat, so feel free to reach out via my website or hit me up directly on the cell, and of course we have the socials on Facebook and Instagram.
Luke, thank you so much for coming in, giving us just this whirlwind of information for people to be able to embrace at home, because there's some great advice in there, but then also thank you for helping people really find their true soulmates within a dog, because I feel like once you make that connection, like you said with the dog, there's no better love in this world.
It's a truly wonderful thing. We so much appreciate the opportunity to come and chat and share some of our love information with you guys. So thanks, Maddie. Thanks everybody for watching.
Make sure that you check out Super Simple Dog Training. That way, if you have any of those behavioral issues at home, you can get your dog straightened and squared away to become your absolute best friend. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
Good morning, Vail.
Experience the magic of the season like never before with the Leadville Railroad on our Holiday Express. Gather the family for an enchanting journey filled with dazzling displays of twinkling lights and festive decorations. Create cherished memories that will last a lifetime on this unforgettable train adventure that captures the spirit of the holidays. Booking information at leadvillerailroad.com.
One of the longest-running syndicated television series is back, America's Black Forum, a weekly series highlighting the latest in our lifestyles, business, entertainment, and finance. We introduce you to entrepreneurs who are making their mark in the business world and leaders who are fighting for change.
Welcome to America's Black Forum.
Tune in each week to know what's happening in our world today on America's Black Forum.
Hi, it's Julio Garcia with TV8, and we're about to add some extra jolly to your holiday season. Join us for TV8's 12 Days Before Christmas and ring in the New Year advertising specials. For just $250, you can advertise your business on TV8 during the all-important holiday season. We'll run your commercial spot 10 times per day for 12 days. That's 120 spots to help drive traffic to your business. Choose the 12 Days of Christmas or run your ad during the Ring in the New Year special, which starts on December 26th and runs for 12 days. Or better yet, purchase both for just $450. Don't have a commercial? Don't worry, TV8 will help create one from your photos or videos at no extra charge. So don't delay, a deal this good won't last long. Contact the station to reserve your spot, and from all of us at TV8, have a wonderful holiday season.
It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that.
And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today. Did you see Caitlin Clark last night? She put up a 40-burger, hits the game-winning three as time expires. Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page.
Tune in Saturdays at 5 p.m. for Offbeat Cinema, where the coffee is always hot and the movies are oh so cool. Find us on Xfinity Channel 92 or on our website at tv8vail.com.
Good morning, Vail.
are here at Rugs Benedict in Avon, Colorado, joined by Mandy Benedict herself. Mandy, how are we doing?
Fantastic. Having a great morning.
Love it. And today we're talking hardwood floors, something very important in a house that people are going to need. What do we have behind us here?
So we are doing a tremendous amount of hardwood flooring right now, and we have literally thousands of options to choose from, but we're really great at discovering what are the things that are most important for your household or your business or the space that the wood floor is going to go into. We have every style, every color, every width, everything that's, you know, sleek, contemporary, modern, to mountain modern, to rustic, all the styles, all the colors.
Love that. And so in addition to having everything, you also have the experts to help get it in there. Can you talk a little bit about what that process is like?
Yes. So our employee installers are, I think, the greatest benefit that Rugs Benedict offers is really highly educated installers. They're master craftsmen. They are so good at their work. And if you ever read our 5-star reviews on Google, pretty much every review is like, the installers were amazing. They were amazing. They were amazing. It was so nice to have them in my home. And they're just really talented, but they're also very skilled on what's going to work in this mountain environment and what are the things we need to be mindful of as far as humidification. And we live in a dry climate, so we need to take that into account with wood.
Definitely. And what do people need to know, whether they're replacing hardwood or getting it for the first time, but what do people need to know when they're kind of making this purchase?
There are a handful of things that are pretty important, but for each house, it's going to be a little different. So we come out and do free estimates in your home, and we'll kind of let you know through the process of, hey, this is what we're going to focus on for your home, and these are the directions that we would recommend it being laid and that sort of thing.
Definitely. I understand these are meant to last, right? These are meant to be in the home for quite some time.
Yes, this is not a disposable thing, so you want to make sure that it gets installed properly and that you have a product that really fits your needs and the needs of the home.
And especially in kind of an active lifestyle community here, what are the benefits of hardwood?
Hardwood is just, it's natural, it's beautiful, it's very much our mountain lifestyle of just natural beauty, and it can be very easy to clean and maintain with the proper education on how to do that.
Perfect. Anything else I should ask you? Anything else people should know about hardwood?
Just come in and explore. We have really all the options to fit any budget, any style, any look that you're after.
Definitely come check out Rugs Benedict here in Avon, Colorado for all your flooring needs and so much more.
Good morning, Vail.
I'm Danella Richard. I've made a career traveling the world. I've worked for some of the biggest names in travel, and now I've traded in my business suit for a swimsuit. Swimming with the sharks, swinging at the edge of the world, throwing back a few shots, or shall I say spirits. Eating some of the best cuisine, and even making a few furry friends along the way. I invite you to come along with me and discover the world.
America was built on a love for the outdoors. We are a nation of sportsmen, blessed with magnificent natural resources. With broad interests across water and field, we are united in our devotion to nature and conservation. Join us every week for the best shows celebrating the outdoor lifestyle. Outdoor America. Live free.
Discover the perfect blend of style and performance in your eyewear at Eyepieces. With convenient locations in Vail Village, Lions Head, Beaver Creek, Edwards, Basalt, and Snowmass, Eyepieces is the destination for luxury eyewear and high-performance optics. From iconic brands to the latest in sport frames and snow goggles, we have the eyewear to match your mountain lifestyle. Plus, we offer prescription lens services, including eye exams, custom lenses, and prescription goggles for your mountain adventures. Visit us today to experience the art of vision. Eyepieces, serving the Vail Valley's vision needs for over 40 years.
Good
living your best life and making memories with your friends. That's me, Elizabeth. And today I'm exploring some amazing sites. Come with us. Welcome to Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World.
Good morning, Vail.
One of my favorite things about Vail Valley is Colorado Gives Day, and I love all the things that our community does, including SOS outreach. Let's sit down and take a look and talk to Seth.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Liz, for your Tuesday edition of Good Morning Vail on TV8. Sitting right next to me is Seth Ehrlich from the SOS Outreach. What's going on today?
It's election day. It's a big day. There's a lot going on. Snow is flying.
It
so
is.
for us, this is also a big time. Kids are getting ready. So
Yes.
SOS, we're mentoring through skiing and snowboarding.
That's
founded
amazing.
here over 30 years ago, and now working with 3,200 kids from Seattle to Detroit.
I cannot believe how much you have grown. I've been out here for about almost 16 years, and just to see the elevation of growth that you guys have created, it's madness, I tell you. But I think that whenever there's a feel-good organization or something like that that is really focusing on the people of the community, why wouldn't it grow?
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's something special, it's important, it's for giving people a chance to elevate their lives a little bit and also to be good people and grow and learn and just communicate together and all the other good stuff.
Well, you get it, and we get to do it through being up on the mountain. And
I
that's
know,
the most
right?
powerful thing, is being up on the mountain and connecting, adults and kids connecting through that shared activity. And then you bring in service learning, then you bring in leadership development and mentorship. And we work with kids from 4th grade through high school graduation and beyond. We have over 50 graduates who are now working with us as either volunteers, mentors, or paid staff.
Oh my
So it's a whole
gosh.
full circle movement of using the power of the mountains and that activity of skiing and riding to then create these strong bonds and really support kids to
I
go
just-
on to what's next in their lives.
It's amazing. Now, let's think back for a minute. Let's just go way back for a second. Now, the brainchild of this was to literally start up on the mountain with the kids. Is that correct? Is that how it?
Yeah,
Like,
it
where
started
did it? Like
30 years ago
Yeah.
at Gold Peak. It was out of the snowboard school.
Okay.
And it was the snowboard school who got together and they rallied and said, there's an opportunity here for us to do something positive.
Wow.
And actually our roots are in events. So we ran the first half pipe competition on Vail Mountain.
Wow.
And all of that money then went to community organizations. And 3 years in after events, it was, hang on, we can do something even larger. And we started bringing kids up from Denver. Started
Amazing.
with just 40 kids in our first year. So it was 95, 96 was our first season that we brought kids up to the mountain.
Mhm.
And 40 kids. And from there, we're now 3,200 kids. And not just skiing and riding, but really taking kids from 4th grade all the way through high school graduation. So this is much more like a school
Right.
of a progressive program. Kids are service in their community, leadership development, they're learning communication and life skills, and they're doing it with an adult mentor all the way through.
So not only are they having a great time, but they're really learning life skills that will take them very far as the years progress and things like that, because this is something unusual. Now, do they do this in conjunction with their regular school activities and
Yes.
things like that?
Yeah,
It's
so-
a lot for kids.
Yeah, so all of our programs happen in partnerships. We work with 125 schools and agencies across the country.
Wow.
We don't recruit kids individually.
I
So
see.
it's all through the schools. So yes, all of our work is in partnership with the schools and agencies.
That's wonderful.
And then for our kids, a big question I always get is, how do you do this? Skiing and snowboarding is so expensive. Once they're in year 2 of SOS, they get a season pass.
Wow.
They get their equipment. We partner with the outdoor industry for all of the soft goods. We work with Vail Resorts for all of the lift access and instruction. So our kids really have the opportunity to step into these sports, and then we connect them to careers. So once they get into high school, we're providing an internship program so they see how they can work in the industry
Amazing.
and continue this passion, and also to continue to be a part of it.
I just wish that you guys were around when I was a kid.
Well, that's
because
why
I didn't
we're
know what
here.
I wanted to
I wish
be.
it was too. I ran my
still
ski
don't know what
company.
I want to do with myself when I grow up. But no, I mean, it's just such a remarkable thing, because I feel like, no pressure, children, but this next generation, they're important. They are really the cornerstone of what humanity's going to be like, what careers are going to be like, what the future of our country is going to be like. And when we have something like the SOS Outreach Program, it gives them and guides them the proper tools and direction for which to take their lives, instead of just going all willy-nilly and running around and not really having any kind of sense of self. And what you guys do is amazing. How long have you been with the SOS Outreach?
18 years.
Wow.
So I can now vote, which is the joke. But yeah, no, 18 years. And it's because what we do is amazing. What you're talking to is why I'm there.
Right.
And we get to do awesome things. I get to do awesome things with awesome people.
What's the biggest gratification you get out of this?
I mean, what keeps me there is seeing and staying connected. I mean, there's just all of our alumni.
Wow.
And seeing them go on to what's next in their lives and being a small part of that journey, and writing letters of reference, writing support letters, getting the celebration calls when they get into a program, and then also being there when they're going through really challenging times, losing parents or losing siblings. That's the coolest thing. And we, again, get to do it. Let's meet up on the hill.
In such a great way. And I feel like you guys give kids and even young adults the tools in which to carry on when you just say, if there's a loss in their family, even like a pet. I know kids just go crazy when their pets go. But for you guys to teach them some tools and some ways to progress their lives and to understand life and death and moving on and past things, and just being able to connect with that, and then taking what they've learned and grown from and using that to make themselves even better people in the long run.
It's community at its baseline. I mean, that's the other side of it, the opportunity with this generation. This generation is also facing the greatest challenges. I mean, there's so much separation. It's very hard to connect.
Big divide.
And a big part of SOS is community.
See,
and so
I love
having a
that.
group that you're together with, that you can trust, and it's adults, it's peers, and that's the group that can help you through all of those awesome things, the applications, the opportunities, but then also those real challenges that you face in life, the real stuff.
Absolutely. What's real is today is election day, and there is a big divide with, I hate to even say here in the community, but there are some people that just are dead set on what they believe. Now, how do you handle that with kids when they come back to you and they start repeating what they hear the adults saying?
Well, but this is why it's so critical.
Yeah.
Because seeing people as people
Right.
versus that idea.
I like
And that's
that.
the biggest thing for us, is how do we really support in the relationship
Yes.
that gets behind the idea.
I love that.
And so, because so often, as you say, like the divide is because it's, this is me, I'm right, you're wrong.
Right.
Without actually knowing
any
who you
conversation.
are.
Yes.
And if we can get to who we are, I mean, we have kids across economic barriers. We have 75-year-old mentors who connect with 12-year-old kids, but
I
it's
love
because of that shit. They trust each other
Yes.
with the shared activity. Politics could be drastically different.
Right.
Economic situations drastically different. But being able to see each other as people is how you make that happen. And
that.
we really, I mean, a big part of SOS is communication. And so
Absolutely.
we're really supporting our kids in asking good questions, listening to the answers, and just being there and being present. That's
just
how we
love
address
you.
it.
You're
It's
great.
really challenging, and though it's the easiest and most important work you can do.
Isn't that interesting?
It's just see people as people.
Right,
And
I
that's
love
what we
that.
get to do at SOS.
And now, before we get into Colorado Gives Day,
Yeah.
because that's coming up,
That is.
what is your biggest advice to people today as an SOS? Pretend like you're talking to people that need to hear something important. What would you give advice for today?
Well, I mean, for today, one, connect.
Yeah,
You know, I
like
mean,
it.
that's the biggest thing. Like, and it's not just for today. It's just always like, you have no idea. I mean, it's a big thing in SOS. Everybody says, I don't know how to get started. I don't know how to have an
Right.
impact. Just see someone. Like when a kid calls and has a question about the job that you do, help them. Because if you do, it's amazing the ripples of impact that you can have. And on a day like today, I mean, if you're facing challenges, if you are getting news, if things happen, how do you reach out to the people who you trust and who are your community? Don't be alone. If you feel like you're alone, reach out to someone so you're not. I mean, so many of the challenges we face, mental health crises,
Big time.
suicide in our community and otherwise, is because people really feel alone.
And I know that there are so many places that people can turn. Number one, just like your organization, there are also theatrical production things that people can go be part of an organization and a family, or they can join in on a singing session in their classes, or a sports or anything. You know, I mean, there's so many things. Go Huskies, by the way. The soccer
Go
teams
Huskies!
are kicking butt.
That's exactly it. Like, go to a middle school game
Why
or a high
not?
school game. Just be
Right.
there. You don't need a kid there. You just be there.
I don't
and
have
be in a
kids. I
group.
go and watch and have fun and just get excited for them, because everybody likes to be cheered on, rooted on, and feel good. And I think that's wonderful. Now, the most important reason why we have you here is now it's Colorado Gives Month.
Colorado Gives months.
Well,
it's not just a day.
It's not
it was
just a
too
day.
big. It grew to a month.
It did grow to a month, but there is a day.
Yeah.
Now, how can people donate, give of their time, and all the other good stuff to the SOS outreach? How can they get involved this time?
Well, so Colorado Gives Day, December 10th, and between now and December 10th, any contribution to a Colorado Gives affiliated organization, we have over 50 here in Eagle County through the Eagle Gives Collaborative, who are really working together to increase the amount of individual contributions. And so big thing is, if you support any organization, whether it's SOS, any organization in the community, between now and December 10th, please schedule your contribution. You find the information on their website, go and schedule your contribution, because on Colorado Gives Day, so between now and then, there's an incentive fund, $1.4 million across the state that gets added. So all of us benefit a little bit based on how much we raise from that incentive fund. And so you really get to help the organizations. And then here in Eagle County, the other way that you can help, join us on December 5th. We are having a rally. So these 50 organizations, we are together to say that, to really demonstrate, this goes to your community point, the impact of the nonprofit sector, but also just to bring people together who really care about our community. And so at Colorado Mountain College from 5 to 8 p.m. on December 5th, you can see it at eaglecountygives.org. Get the information. You can register there, but join us on December 5th.
Oh, I
so
love
make a
that.
contribution. Join us on December 5th.
Yes.
And if it's SOS Outreach, I'd love to have you as part of our community and any organization that you support.
Well, I know that all the organizations work together, and we do have so many great people just like you. This is Seth Ehrlich from the SOS Outreach Organization, taking care of our community and also the future of our community. I can't thank you enough for being here. It's such a special, important thing that you do, and I look forward to having you back here many more times.
Absolutely.
All right, give everybody. Colorado Gives, and December 5th, all taking place, and we can always donate whenever we want. So there's also that as well. Thank you for being here with me so much. It's Seth from SOS Outreach, everybody. Colorado Gives is just around the corner. Let's take from our hearts and do the same. We'll be right back with more Good Morning Vail on TV8 right after this.
Good morning, Vail.
From small towns to big cities and everywhere in between, we're covering the great things that are happening right now in the USA. This is Positively America with Ernie Anastas.
Each week, we're going to focus on the great things that are happening every day in the USA. We'll feature change makers.
In every older person, there's a younger person saying, how did this happen?
Innovators.
I talk about design the way some people might talk about like the person they're in love with.
Doers and dreamers.
You can use that recognition to pay it forward.
Ordinary Americans accomplishing extraordinary things.
When you smile, you receive one back most of the time.
We're going to prove to you that optimism and hope are paving the way to an even brighter tomorrow.
We've got a lot of programs that are specifically focused on the children of our fallen heroes.
At Positively America, our mission is to feature good news.
Stevie Lee Woods presents Nashville Roadhouse Live, where country meets rock and roll.
It's where I drank my first beer, where I found Jesus, where I wrecked my first car, I tore it all to pieces. Join us every week for more live performances right here on Nashville Roadhouse Live.
time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that. And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today. Did you see Caitlin Clark last night? She put up a 40-burger, hits the game-winning three as time expires. Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page.
Good morning, Vail.
Thank you for spending your Sunday morning here on the couch with us at Good Morning Vail. How exciting is all of this? We have the mountain opening. We have Colorado Gives Day coming up. I am so very excited. We hope to see you tomorrow right here for more Good Morning Vail. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth